Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome all to another Monday. Monday. And for those of you just tuning in that have never seen this show before, so grateful to have you. We are going to be doing a word of the week that sometimes turns into a phrase of the week. We're going to do a lovely general spread using tarot and oracle cards and my feather jar to find out what we need to know from our guides, tapping into the energies of what is happening in the world right now. And then we're going to do a really fun Q&A, and we call this our Grab Your Decks segment, where you can come online. You can come on video or over the phone if you want. And I say grab your deck, and I create some questions to ask so that you can take that general reading and individualize it for you and learn a little bit more about your own personal deck while you're at it. So we have lots of fun stuff that we are going to be tuning into today. So hoping everyone is doing well. I just got back late last night, so I'm a little tired from a week away in Arizona, one of my absolute happy places on this planet. I love me the desert, and it was wonderful to get away. It was the first getaway that I've had in 2.5 years. And I'm a big travel buff, and I usually go away anywhere from 4 to 6 times a year. So 2.5 years without any travel at all, it's a stretch. So I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling a little more recharged.
This is why I always stay on Stacy's good side, because she goes to Arizona a lot, and you know it's hard to find the bodies in the desert. So I stay on her good side.
That's right, because you know, Keone, I will get you. I know where you live. I will get you. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. I see so many faces that are live. So grateful for you. Let's dive on in. I'm going to close my eyes, go to my happy place, which right now is very fresh in my mind, and I'm going to get our word of the week and see what our dream teams want to say to us.
Let's see what the tarot has to say about this heat.
Yeah, so much heat. So our word, it's actually 2 words, but it's basically the same word. So I'm getting activity and activation. I'm just writing this down so I don't forget it. So this week, it's very important for each of us to pay attention to the level of activity. No, to pay attention to what activities we're choosing to engage in this week. I'm hearing that it's super important that we pay attention to our energy levels and understanding that a lot of us this week are going to have extra energy. I feel like it's almost like there's a boost or a surge of energy that's kind of coming through the collective at this time. And you want to be able to take advantage of that surge of energy to make it count, to make it work for you, because it does feel like it's a surge or a boost. And if you don't take advantage of it, it's going to go away. Like this is one of those things where you if you don't use it, you lose it. So I'm hearing that you want to take advantage of it, but you want to take advantage of it from the perspective of what are the 2 main priorities? You know, what are the 2 big things that I'm trying to manifest? Or what are the 2 main areas of my life that I'm really putting a lot of focus into right now that I want great success for? Those are the areas that you're going to want to use this energy to funnel through or to integrate into, to give a boost to. If you're doing it just overall in general, what I feel is the energy is just going to go scattered. Or if you decide that you want to use it for something that is a bit draining, or something, I want to say a project or a relationship or a situation where it's on the outs, like you're ready to shed it or it needs to be released and you're hanging on for dear life, you're going to be wasting that energy, and you will be turning around and saying, God, I wish that I had, put my focus here instead of here this week. So I want everyone to take 15 seconds. We're just going to sit in silence. I want everyone to close their eyes for 15 seconds and listen to your inner guidance, what it's telling you in terms of where you want to focus it. So we'll be silent for 15 seconds. Trust what comes. Don't judge it. Just be open to that. We've just set the intention. So close those eyes. All right. So if you didn't get something in this segment, come back and do this exercise again. But the word that I got for me right off the hop was projects. So I need to be putting my focus on projects this week. That could be home improvement projects. That could be, for me, it's always business. I've always got 15 different things going on all at once, irons in the fire. So it's putting my focus on projects because that's where the energy is. That's where I need the energy the most, where it's going to have the most bang for the buck. So whatever you sort of received, it might have been a visual, it might have been an image of something, it might have been just a feeling. You might have gotten a flash of something, or you heard a voice in your mind. Whatever that is, just trust it. Don't judge it. Just trust it. So activity and then activation. So let's talk about activation. Activation is a very, I want to say, spiritual hoobity floob sort of energetic word, in that we are all being activated. It's like if you think about having a switch in your body, and all of a sudden you flip the switch and suddenly now you're energized, or you have these amazing ideas that are going on with you, or you feel like you need to move, or it's really about shifting the energy. And so it's activation within you. And when we're talking about the activity of what you want to put your focus to, I feel like it is what you're being told. It's because there's an overall or overarching activation that is transpiring within you. And so whatever you are putting your focus on this week, it's going to bring more of it, but it's also going to integrate into your body a little bit more. It's something that you're going to be facing on a regular basis moving forward. So activation, the body will be activated towards that next, I want to say that next level of your purpose, that next level of your soul urging, in terms of where you're moving forward, being present, but also having that vision for what is coming up moving forward. So activity and activation, really, really important for us to pay attention to this week, sorry. And now we are going to do our card pull. Oh, and I forgot, Keone.
No, you said in the introduction that you do it, so I just stayed in my producer hole, and you have all the limelight.
Oh man, it's so funny. You would think that I would, once I get it in my loop, I'm good. Until I get it in my loop, I go on my merry way. I used to do these all the time pre-recorded, and it was just me in a room talking to the camera. So having someone to interact with is a lot of fun, and I get going.
You're so not used to me. Heather from Arlington says hello from Sanford, NC. I love these.
Thank you, Heather. Heather actually, I haven't even had a chance to thank her personally, so I'll thank you now, Heather. Heather did a testimonial for one of my services, the Channeled Wisdom Oracle, and it was beautiful. It actually brought me to tears when I watched it, so I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. I love doing those. Channeled Wisdom is basically you get me for a half hour, and you actually don't get me. You get me in the body, but then you get either an archangel or an ascended master or a higher being. Someone from my council will come through to give you a specific channeled message, and you get to talk to them and everything. It's really cool. So thank you, Heather, for taking the time to and being willing to get on camera. Not everybody likes to get on camera.
30 minutes. I can only take 5 minutes of you telling me about myself.
Well, it's a 30-minute experience. If you just want the 5 minutes, you want the message in 5, I'm sure they would accommodate.
It's time for card pulling.
Woohoo! And this is our card of the week. We've got 9 of Pentacles. And you know what? I love this card. So when we're talking about activity and activation, this is a great card to get. As you can see, there's a beautiful fairy energy sitting in the forest, and through this tree, there's a beautiful piano and they're playing it. So it's like the mastering the craft. It's the perfection. It's the, when you first start out and you're learning the piano, you chicken peck. You don't know how to play with both hands. You have to start with one hand, and then you slowly integrate the second hand. And then, after a few years, you learn pedal work. And it takes a lot of effort and practice and desire to master your craft. But then when you've mastered it, you're playing these concerts. You're a virtuoso, right? There are so many people that are taking advantage of the beauty of your mastery, the beauty of what you've created. And when we're talking about activity and activation, what activity are you going to choose this week in order to increase that activation, in order to get to that mastery? Because we are all on various paths of mastery. And I'm hearing that that's a super important thing to consider this week, is understanding that while I may feel like I'm a shit show most of the time, I'm still on a path of mastery. And there is value in not always having everything perfect. There is value in being on a path to mastery. It doesn't say that you are a master. You're on the path of mastery, and we can be masters on any level that we choose, any level that we step into. So give yourself permission to be on the path of mastery, and to understand that this week, the energies, that boost of energy is helping to activate that mastery. And so that everything that comes into your path this week is an opportunity for you to master your craft. What effort can you put into something that you've really been working hard to attain, or to learn, or to integrate, activate and integrate? And this card, when we're talking about 9 is endings, conclusions, resolutions. It's coming to the end of a particular cycle. And I feel like this boost of energy, or burst of energy that is coming through, it is, I want to say, loosely reminiscent of the end of something. And I feel like June in general is a reset. It's a reset month. I don't know if anyone else has been feeling that, but it's been feeling like a reset month for sure. I'm doing a lot of, sort of overhaul of my offerings. I'm really evaluating how I'm showing up in the world. It's been going on for a while, but it's like culminating in this month. 2.5 years, and I decide I'm going away this month for a recharge. It's this reset energy. So if you're also feeling that, it's part of what is sort of transpiring right now. And it's because we are coming to the end of a particular phase and really getting ready to move into something new. And when we're talking about Pentacles energy, that's earth energy. It's manifesting what it is that we are thinking and feeling into reality. This is the 9 that says, okay, I've done all of the work, and now I'm mastering the craft, and I'm bringing into being what it is that I want. So if we are looking at it from, okay, this month is a reset, it's giving us the opportunity to clear away what isn't working any longer and stepping onto that path of mastery, or recommitting to the path of mastery, and understanding that along that path, there may be many different explorations that you can take, many different detours that you can take. The path of mastery is an umbrella word, and so many things can fall underneath of that umbrella. So be open to that. I'm also hearing that from a financial perspective, because Pentacles does rule, sort of the financial aspect of things, there's going to be one further, I'm going to say, sort of shock to the system from a global perspective, it's going to be a little bit of a shock to the system. But what sort of transpires out of that shock is that what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is doctors bringing the paddles to the heart. So it's like saying, no, 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 we've got to shock this. We've got to shock our collective heart into submission. So there's going to be a sort of a financial shock, a surprise, and then that jolt gives us that energy, and everybody sort of stands up and says, okay, enough of this. This is how we're going to move forward. This is the path. And I feel that this is going to happen in sort of a grassroots way, more so than in, I want to say the systems or organizations that are in place. This is going to be more grassroots. This is definitely, I do feel like stock market is involved in this, but I keep hearing global. So I feel like it's sort of the collective humanity, not just here in the US or in North America where we are situated right now. So nothing to be afraid of, especially for those who are watching. You've got investments and whatever, just hang on to your hats. Everything's going to be okay. This is adding a jolt to things because it's a reset. We need a reset. We need to do things differently. And the only way to do things differently is to do them differently. That's just the way it is. So I feel like that's a strong message that's sort of coming through. Also, I want to say, in terms of our overall physical health and physical being, watch out for issues of the heart. I want to say it's not like everybody's going to have a heart attack, but I want to say people who have sensitive hearts or have issues already related to blood or heart, you're going to want to take extra care. You're going to want to take extra precaution. Maybe don't go for that 2-hour walk. Maybe go for an hour instead. If you're, walking on a treadmill, or if you're typically going outside and it's getting too hot, walk on a treadmill instead. Make sure you're taking your proper medications. Whatever it is that you do to maintain that condition or to maintain that heart space. And I want to say lungs as well. So chest area, heart and lungs. For whatever reason, I feel like there's some susceptibility that's going on this week with heart related stuff. So again, not to dun 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 everybody. This is literally just a, hey, heads up. There's a lot of stuff floating around energetically. Here are some ways that you will notice the energy. So prepare in advance, be proactive rather than reactive. All right, it's our oracle time, and we are pulling cards. I don't know if I said this. This is from the Shadowscapes Tarot by Barbara Moore.
Put it on the screen.
Okay, perfect. And then the Lantern Oracle is really cool. This is Angelina Mirabito. And so normally my little Virgo Sun Libra rising self has to match the cards to make everything pretty. Even though you guys don't see it, I match it for me. But I didn't do that today. And I just felt really strongly that we needed to use this particular deck. And this deck, where all of these images are sort of very fantastical, fun and fairy-like and pastel-y colors and all the rest of it, this is dark. But the messages are juicy. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, 21. The key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. So isn't it interesting how I was just giving you guys some sort of health stuff around heart and chest, lungs. Lungs in, I believe it's Chinese medicine, but also sort of in a holistic way, lungs carry grief. They hold grief. They process grief. That's where grief gets stuck. And the heart, of course, matters of the heart and intimacy. When we are getting intimate, we're connecting with our heart space and we're connecting with our solar plexus chakra. The thing that's standing out to me here is the journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. This week in particular, and you guys hear me talk about love as frequency, not as feeling all the time. So that's a standard. We need to be talking about love as frequency. But when you're talking about intimacy, we are talking about getting really connected, opening our heart spaces to another person. Intimacy here doesn't necessarily mean sex.
No.
And in some cases, intimacy, people mistake it or assume it to be about sex. But intimacy is actually it's the space. I want to say the space is in between sex, or sex is just one of the aspects of intimacy. But intimacy is really opening the heart space without barriers. It's allowing yourself to be completely vulnerable with another person, to allow that person to see you and for you to see them. And this can happen in love relationships. Obviously it happens, but it can happen in all other relationships and dynamics as well. And where are the intimacy levels? And when we say sometimes it's about what love is not, I have been known for saying, and it's been coming up for the last few weeks actually, that it's never about failure. Sometimes we have to kiss like a billion different froggies in order to find the froggy that is our right fit, is the best match. And how do you know what really lights your fire if you don't know what doesn't light your fire? It's the shadow. We need the shadow in order to shine the light on the reality, or shine the light on our truth, or shine the light on the opportunity for us to explore that. So this week is bringing up a lot of opportunity for everyone to observe and or experience what love is not. And this is not to say, again, dun, dun, dun. This is more from an observational perspective, and it's coming through because what I'm hearing is the next couple of weeks, as you are recognizing in your life what love isn't, it's giving you like a roadmap. I'm seeing sort of like a roadmap of, okay, if this isn't love and this isn't love and this isn't love, the only direction I have is here. So, okay, it's pointing me in the right direction. It's putting me on that path to mastery, knowing myself deeply inside and out, and being intimate with self. We forget sometimes that the most important relationship that we have in this lifetime is our relationship to self. If we don't know who we are, if we don't love ourselves, if we can't blend our divine masculine and divine feminine and have awareness and understanding of that, how are we supposed to show others how we need to be loved, how we wish to be loved, how we wish to interact? And so there is a lot of energy here, I feel, around the self-love versus the self-loathing. How many of us, and I'm right there with you, there are things that, situations that come up, situations that happen, and I'm like, oh my God, I hate myself for that. And then I evaluate it and I go, where did that come from? Why did that happen? And then eventually I get to that place of, okay, I'm a human being. I'm a human being. I had a human moment. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. So what do I do with it moving forward? It's being able to be intimate with yourself and to accept yourself, the dark and the light and everything in between, in order to come back to a place of wholeness, which is what our activation is all about. Being activated helps us to ascend. It's reminding us, it's activating that core homing beacon within us that says, oh, here's the path to mastery. Here's the direction. And the heart needs to be a part of that. Being intimate with self in terms of getting to know yourself truly and deeply, not being afraid to look at the shadow, or being afraid and still moving forward to look at the shadow. So the next couple of weeks, we're going to have these opportunities to see this within ourselves so that we can then witness it in others. And we're all reflections for one another as well. So it's, while I am learning myself, I'm also being given or shown situations in my day-to-day that is helping me to reflect on what it is that I'm putting out there in the world. Am I loving myself in that way? Is this person reflecting this to me because this is an area that I am weaker in, or that I need to pay attention to? Or is it showing up because I'm like, oh, I've been there, and wow, I can see how far I've come, and okay, I can check that off the box and recognize that, okay, that is not love to me. That is not the path to love to me. And so now I'm clear on that. And so now I can release that and move in a different direction, seeking to find the clarity on what is love. So a lot of stuff coming up around giving us the opportunity to really get to know self through reflection of others. It's really interesting too, because what I'm describing is actually the Lover's card in tarot. It's a reflection, the reflection of ourselves in others, and vice versa. And neither of these cards is the Lover's card, but it's coming up and it's coming through. And 21, 3. So two, union, pairing, partnership, understanding the duality of things and how to blend that to create one, wholeness, equals creation of the new, creation of a new version of self, creation of a new path, creation of something new, because you're coming to the conclusion of something and opening yourself now up into this newness, getting to know the heart space. Wow. Heart, 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 heart. That's what we need to be paying attention to. Oh, and I pulled a green feather, which is heart. So we've got support. Well, it didn't say heart. If it said heart, I would have dropped my back teeth, but it says support. So, and actually I pulled 2 feathers. Oh, Keone, you're going to laugh. Here's the second feather. It's your favorite.
Oh, magic.
It popped out as well, but I'm putting it to the side because I feel like this was really our feather, but I think that's funny because we pull it all the time. Right. I don't know what that's all about because I shift these feathers up all the time. So support. So it's on a green feather, which is connected to the heart chakra. This is our healing, healer, healed. And we are collectively in a space of healing right now. And we are collectively in a space of recognizing that we all need to support one another because no one else is going to do it. Right? We're seeking to say, okay, it's somebody else's problem. Someone else can figure it out. The government can figure it out today, or, the corporations can figure it out, or the bank can figure this out, or, my parents can figure this out. I am not taking responsibility. No. This is the invitation now to say, wait a second. I'm healing. I'm noticing that the collective is healing as well. So how do I want to support that healing? How can I step up and be supportive? How can I step up and I always say be the change, but I feel like it's be the support this week. And I keep hearing the next 2 weeks. So even though this is a weekly reading, and of course we're going to be here next Monday, I feel like for the next 2 weeks, this energy is going to be lingering. So we really want to be paying attention to that and focusing on that. And I'm going to say, how do you support yourself? From a heart perspective? We talked a lot about that already in sort of why this is happening. It's activity and activation, and sort of things are, we're wrapping some things up. We're moving on to further down the road of that path of mastery. We're getting to know our heart space, opening ourselves to and sort of things are, we're wrapping some things up. We're moving on to further back. It's always so disturbing to me to hear my own damn voice. It's like it takes me a minute to figure out who it is. Isn't that so bizarre? So supporting yourself in this process as you're moving forward, and understanding that the support that you give to yourself, you also want to just simply add a little affirmation or a little intention that the support I'm giving myself, I'm also going to put out into the collective intentionally, because there's probably a handful of other people who could use the same support that I'm giving, or who's going through the same thing that I'm going through, right? So understand that it doesn't take a whole lot energetically to make a really big impact on where things are at in the collective. So as you're healing, you can also heal the collective through offering that level of support. All right. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so now, Keone, what time is it?
It is time to grab your decks.
Woohoo! All right. So, we've got someone from New Zealand. Thank you. New Zealand in the house. So nice to see you, Lori Jane. So nice to have you here. So for anyone who this is your first time tuning in, the grab your decks portion is one of my favorite portions, because it allows me to let my little teacher inside of me out, and to help you to take the general message and individualize it for you so that you can really take it deeper into what you need to do for you this week as well. So grab your deck if you have one. It can be an oracle deck or it doesn't matter which one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and go to my happy place, and I'm going to channel 2 different questions that we can focus on today for the card pulls to bring that into a more individualized nature. And Keone, I'm going to turn it over to you while I go and do that.
While you're doing your thing, I would like to always thank all of our viewers who come every Monday at 12 p.m. to watch us. Thank you for always being with her, my sister, Christy. Thank you for those who are watching on Facebook, as we are streaming live on Facebook, 12 p.m. every Monday, as well as YouTube. So had a great time seeing Heather, Angela Rose, Michelle Dunnigan, and forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong, Lorraine Mahoney from New Zealand. We thank you all for being here. If you want to join us live, go ahead and click the link that is in the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat. If you do not see the link for some reason on the screen, if you look, it says if you want to be on the show live, go ahead and email Keone Productions and say I would like to be on the live show. If you don't want to come on live and be seen on camera, you don't have to have your camera on as long as we can hear you. And if you just want to have your card pulled in the chat, go ahead and put in the chat. We do try to get to the live ones first. So there you go. And now I throw it back to the wonderful, amazing, ever so lovely Stacy.
Awesome. Thank you, Keone. Okay, we got 2 really cool card prompts today. And because we have I'm noticing that we have so many people on. I'm so excited about that, by the way. Made me feel so much better when I'm not talking to myself when I'm doing these things.
Well, I'm always here.
You are always here, which is always fun.
And Indu and Raghu are always going to be here.
That's true. That's very true. So I'm grateful to everyone who supports the show. So I'm not going to pull a card for myself like I normally do. We are going to go right to card pulls. But here's the first question that you're going to pull your cards for. What is it that I am activating this week? So take a minute to pull your card for that question. I'm really excited about that. I'm actually going to pull a card for myself, but I'm not going to go into great depth about it because I want to focus on you guys. The second card pull is, what card can support my intimacy with self this week? So take a moment to pull those cards. Oh, I just saw Heather said she left her deck at home. No worries, Heather. I can pull a card for you.
Yep, she will pull it for you. Heather, either come on live or we'll go ahead. I know that you want to be pulled, so I'll put you in the queue to be pulled.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive in.
Okay, so we're going to have, as usual, welcome Indu.
Hello, Indu.
Yes, thanks a lot, Keone.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Hope the same for you guys.
Oh, very much so. Desert is my happy place, and it was 116 degrees most of the time that I was there, and it took so much out of me that I feel completely grounded now. I'm so chill.
Nice.
Fabulous.
You said 116. It made me grab my water bottle.
Oh, yes. It was 116 degrees, which that's not unusual for Arizona in July and August, but it's quite unusual for it in June. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. So hot and spicy. All right, Indu, what is the card that you pulled for? What is it that I am activating this week?
So the Oracle deck pulled 9 of Cups.
Oh my God, I love that. So we have 9 of Pentacles and you pulled the 9 of Cups. So 9 of Cups is a card of satisfaction. It's a card of joy. So what is it that you're activating? You're activating more satisfaction and joy in your life this week. That's huge. So I want you to take a look at the card right now, and I'm going to throw you for a loop. When you look at the card, what do you smell?
Smell.
Yes. What do you smell, if anything?
I don't know. The word jasmine comes to my mind because I love the smell of jasmine.
Okay, I love that. And I love that the way you're describing it was a word that came to mind was jasmine. So I'm going to use this as an example here. when we are all tapping into our spidey senses, our psychic ability, we often think it's got to look a certain way, or, oh, it's only psychic if I see it in my mind, or it's only psychic if I hear it in my head. But it comes through in many different ways. And that's why I asked Indu about, what do you smell? Because some people, their psychic ability comes through scent. But she still was able to answer the question, even though she didn't smell jasmine. She received the image in her mind, or she received the word jasmine. So I just want to point that out. That's amazing, Indu. And that's for you understanding that, okay, yeah, I can ask these crazy questions. And if I'm not judging what's coming through, I'm receiving an answer. So continue with what jasmine means to you.
Jasmine means softness and happiness and peace.
Love it.
Balance. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So that's what you are bringing in. And I feel like the 9 is also indicative of an ending of a chapter for you that has been heavier or more depressing or sorrowful, or, you know, feeling like you're trudging through the quicksand, right? Or walking through the mud. This is going to really symbolize that, okay, I'm arriving at a new place, and it's okay for me to absorb and integrate or activate this joy factor, this happiness factor. So thank you. That's awesome. Your second card pull, what card can support my intimacy with self this week?
Yeah. So I pulled a card from somebody known as Stacey Brown.
My Feathers of Wisdom Oracle. Oh, that's so sweet. What did you get?
And the card that I pulled is exactly in line with the question that you just raised. And the message is ground, pause, and breathe.
Oh, yes. So supporting the intimacy with self is taking that moment to close the mind to all the other clutter and the noise, and open it to that connection with the high self is what I'm hearing for you. Yes, connecting with the high self. So looking at the card, what is the one thing that your eye is drawn to at this time?
Actually, it's the little button or a star thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's
what does that mean to you?
I think it's a symbol of the divine feminine, is what I think.
I love that. So when you're supporting the intimacy with self, you're really allowing in the divine feminine energy to flow through you.
Yeah, because to me it represents a lotus, and lotus is kind of big in Hinduism,
Yes,
and also the feminine energy.
absolutely. And lotus flower opens up. So it also symbolizes activation of the spiritual path. So that really ties in with the general reading of the cards as well. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for submitting that.
Thank you, Stacey.
Sending you lots and lots of love this week. Hi, Ragu. And
We'll see him next week.
I love that. That's awesome. Be well, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Indu. And then we're going to go to Lorraine. And please forgive me if I am pronouncing your name wrong, all the way from New Zealand.
Awesome. I think it's Lori Jane. Hi, Lori Jane. How you doing?
Oh, see, I'm trying to be fancy. I thought the J was silent.
He's getting creative.
Lorraine, are you here? Okay, we'll come back to you. Heather, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Heather. Go ahead.
Hey,
Hi.
Heather, how you doing?
Good to see ya. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to see you as well. So I'm happy to pull a card for you today for your 2 questions. Do you want me to pull from the Oracle deck or the Tarot?
I'm feeling the tarot.
All right, let's do it. So what is it that I am activating this week? Ooh, this one's standing out to me. King of Wands. So Heather, you are activating your entrepreneur. You are activating your fire, your passion. You are activating the mastery that flows within your soul flame and fire. So I'm definitely feeling that this week, when you are talking about sort of the activation process, you want to really be focusing on the passion aspect of things. You want to focus on, what is my purpose? What is my why for this? And if you don't have a why, or you're not moving forward in that why, or you're not clear about that why, I would say maybe I need to take a pause on this particular activity and go to something that is definitely going to be more more in alignment with that passion and that purpose. Also, from an entrepreneurial perspective, when we're talking about King of Wands, this is an energy, sort of, it represents the energy of an individual who is a real go-getter and loves life and is very confident in their choices and doesn't really allow a whole lot of self-doubt to step into the mix. There's an energy of, I got this. And I feel like that's kind of the message you want to be telling yourself this week, is anytime there's self-doubt that creeps in, it's, wait a second, no, I got it. And that's all you have to say. You don't have to rationalize it or undo the original thought. It's, wait a second, no, I got this. I got it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
very
that you got that.
Me
So
too.
your second card pull is, what card can support my intimacy with self? Whoa. So we got 10 of Pentacles.
Ooh.
So we had 9 of Pentacles in the general reading, and now we've got a 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles is an amazing card to get. It symbolizes generational stuff, ancestry. It symbolizes, I've arrived, I've worked hard, I've put everything in, I've reached my goal, I am celebrating that goal, I'm sharing the outcome of that goal with others, and I'm also considering how I'm going to take some of the fruits of my labor and investing it into a new project, or the next new. So what can support your intimacy with self, I feel, is really an understanding of, you know what, I'm great where I'm at. I've arrived. And isn't it interesting? I'm going to say to you, and I feel like this is going to be a message for a lot of people, we get in our heads about the goal. We always feel like we're never enough until we reach this particular goal. And what this card is saying, and what the energy here is saying with the intimacy with self, is it's saying, no, you're perfect and you have exactly what you need right now. You're perfect the way you are right now. And so if you're going to invest in improving upon the perfection of what you are right now, this is what this card is going to give you. Is it saying, okay, the key to intimacy is to stop trying to undo or do over or focus on where you feel that you failed or lacked, and understand that all of it, it's like I was saying about the frogs. You kiss a lot of frogs before you find the right frog with the right frequency. It's the same kind of idea here. I don't have to relive all of these sort of past things that I've done that I'm not comfortable with or that I feel awkward about. It's no, right now, what is it that I want to feel? Who am I in this moment? Where is my heart? What is my heart calling me to do? And it's interesting that you've got a lot of heart and soul in these 2 cards for you this week. Is you're dealing with heart and soul, not head. So what can support your intimacy with self is staying out of the head, stepping into this space of, I've arrived, I've got everything I need, and I also have stuff in surplus that I'm going to invest into the next phase, the next level, the next aspect of me. So I feel like that's really, really powerful, is what I want to say. That's what I got for you today, girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had feedback, so I had muted her for a second. Sorry, Heather. Go ahead.
Oh, I was talking this whole time. I didn't see that. I appreciate that. And it actually resonates with me very, very much at this point. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I love this 10 of Pentacles for you. You want to hang on to this week, to understand that this is, like, even though I say it's generational, it's also a card of success, like full on success. And so this is what you need to believe in about yourself, is that you're already a full on success. so that anything that you do moving forward is like sprinkles on the frosting of the cupcake. It's not even just the frosting on the cupcake, it's the sprinkles on the frosting of the cupcake. So it just makes it
Interesting. Wow. Okay. This is really great. Thank you. I'm going to carry this with me, and I appreciate coming on the show. And thank you. This has been very insightful.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. Sending you lots of love.
All right. Take care, guys.
Make sure you come on back, Heather, okay?
I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're going to go to 2 chat readings, and then we're going to have a live reading with Beth. So, as usual, Try Red, who joins us every week, says, hello, I got Knights of Pentacles for the first card and King of Wands for the second card.
Oh, we got another King of Wands. That's awesome.
That's a lot of wands. I swear. I'm going to start counting Try Red's wands.
So Keone keeps a tally. He's got a tally running. So hi, Try Red. So Knight of Pentacles is great for what is it that I'm activating. So Knight of Pentacles is an interesting card to get. What you're activating is I am willing to step up to the plate. I am willing to go the extra mile when needed. But when I'm not needed, I'm going to saunter. I'm going to wander. I'm going to walk a path and just allow the world to show up for me in the way that it wants to show up for me. I feel like for you, this is about not having a plan. This is about being a little more in flow because you already are trusting that the universe has got your front, back, sides, bottom, and top. So what is it that I'm activating? You're activating less anxiety. You're activating very much a sense of trust in what shows up in your path and trusting that it's giving you exactly what it is that you need this week. So I want to say, and I feel like this is really important, get out of your head. So we've had that message twice now. I think we had that with, I don't know if that was with Heather or Indu, but we had that get out of the head. It's not about the head. It is about heart. It's about soul. It's about the feeling of things. So that's what you're activating, is that I'm going with the flow. I'm willing to saunter. And I can show up and I'll have the energy to show up when I'm needed to really be activated. But when I don't have to be so activated, I'm going with the flow and I'm trusting that everything that's crossing my path is here for me for a reason. Your King of Wands for the second. So I just talked about King of Wands, which is really cool, but her King of Wands was for the first question. So this is great. So what card can support you with your intimacy with self? So King of Wands, again, mastery, understanding that intimacy with self requires a certain level of passion for who you are as a human being, focusing on the, I want to say the aspects of yourself that you really love. Or if you're struggling to find something that you really love about yourself, you talk to your best friend. You know, your best friend is going to be straight up and say, oh my God, you make me laugh. You're so freaking funny. Okay, well, then I'm going to focus on that. That's going to be my, how I connect to my intimate self is I am funny. I'm very funny and I'm going to be passionate about being funny. So pick something this week, or pick the things that you really do like about yourself that you feel confident in, and embellish them more, bring them, make them bigger within your own existence. I want to say you almost want to, well, this is me. So you take what works for you and leave the rest behind. But it's like you want to kind of walk around your house and have conversation with yourself as self. And I'm sure there's like probably a million different commercials out there that have done this concept, but it's kind of funny to pretend that you've got another person in your space that you're talking to that is you, and have a conversation back and forth. And what would you say to this person if they were your best friend, right? What would you say to this person? So be open to that, because I feel like for you, intimacy with self also needs to be playful. It doesn't need to be so serious. And when we're talking about King of Wands is very playful. You know, he doesn't take life too seriously, or I should say they, because he or she, they don't take life too seriously. The Energist really allows you to open and move forward. So thank you for that card pull. That's awesome.
All right. And then we have a newcomer. We have from Facebook, Kim Harders.
Hi, Kim.
My first card is the Empress from Lightseer's Tarot.
Love it.
Second card is Diana, Queen of the Wilderness from the Divine Feminine Oracle. It's
Yes.
language of the natural world is a frequency of
Love. Oh my God, girl. Yes, that's perfect. I almost pulled light seers today for
Okay.
the show. So that I think it's great that it's showing up. So yeah, the Empress, you know, what is it that I am activating? You're activating your abundance. You're activating your sexuality. You're activating your ability to nurture yourself and to be nurtured by all that is around you. Your Mother Earth in many ways. So it's activating that Mother Earth quality. And I happen to know you, Kim, so I know that you already are very Mother Earth based, you know, heart based, and, you know, willing to give the shirt off your back and all of those things. So what is it that you're activating? I want to say it's the next level of that, but it's also including yourself in that energy. So it's not always about what you're giving, it's also about what you have to receive, or what you have in abundance within you that you can access and utilize. I feel like a vacation is coming on for you in the next couple of weeks, actually. Like, you need to take some time to just be able to enjoy the surroundings of what you have around you, and to not worry about how you're including others in that process. This is strictly about you, self. And then I love the Diana, Queen of the Wilderness. So that's amazing. And she's very like, she aims, right? She's the huntress. So she's got her bow and arrow, and she aims straight for, you know, it's her focus. It's the bullseye. And I feel like I was talking about that earlier. I don't know if it was when I was talking about the word of the week or the cards, but it's really about what we are focusing on. And so for you, the focus is the language of love is frequency. And that is what is going to support your intimacy with self, is really connecting with how you love nature, the frequency that you feel within yourself when you are out in nature is your frequency of love. And when you can tap into that, you can expand that, you're away to the races. That's really important and very, very significant. So it's understanding, if you're seeking it, you don't have to go very far. And I have a super quick little story. I was doing this exercise. This was like probably 8 years ago now. It was an Oren Deben exercise, and we were working. I was at a book club, and we were working through some of these, this particular book, and it's a Hoobity Flute book that's supposed to, you know, activate your energy and whatever. And this one exercise kept coming up, and I couldn't do it because it was like, oh, pick a person that you know, completely love unconditionally, that you have all of this, like your heart just swells and everything is awesome. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't think of one person who had that effect. And that included like people that I love. It just didn't feel right. Like, it didn't feel like what I needed to access. And when I put my dog, Dimitri, into that, whoo, heart swelled. All of a sudden, I'm getting all these images and the visions. And I was like, oh my God, this was the exercise. So it's true that animals and nature are the closest to our core essence of frequency. So you want to be stepping into that as well. And I think you're an animal lover like I am too. So that, I don't know why, but somebody needed to hear that today. So thanks for that. And thank you for coming on today and for pulling a card. Love to see you.
In your defense, during the exercise, you didn't know me at the time, so the answer could have been
right. You're right, Keone. My life did not begin until you showed up.
I have this thing where I have to thrust myself into everyone's equations. But we're going to go to another live reading, and we're going to go to Beth.
Awesome.
Amazing Beth, who has been patiently waiting by for us to finish our filibustering.
Hey, girl, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you, love?
I'm good. So great to see you.
I know. I just happened upon this, so I'm not
Happy
even sure what
retirement.
happens, but I'm excited. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So what cards did you pull? What is it that I am activating?
So I didn't have any. I just logged on,
Cool.
and I was like, oh, Stacy's live. I'm never free this time of day on a Monday. Let me see what this is. So I haven't. Is that okay?
Okay, well, this is great. So I'm happy to pull cards for you. Would you like the tarot or would you like the oracle deck?
Oracle, please.
All right. She was clear on that. Oracle.
I love the decisiveness.
Yes. So what is it that I am activating this week? Trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. I love this card. So what is it that you're activating? You're activating your ability to understand and to see when people are inauthentic and to accept that inauthenticity, but to not wear it or own it or even have to work within it. So this is what you're activating within yourself. Is I feel like it's very much an empowered energy of observation without feeling the need to get in and do. Does that kind of make sense the way I'm explaining that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what I love about this card is she's actually befriending the trickster, right? The fox as trickster. She's got, it's a flower that has sort of wrapped its long stem around the fox and around her arm. So it's there, and I want to say she's looking at the trick and she's not mad at it. She's not attaching herself to it. In fact, that she's getting ready to release because she's turned the attachment into this beautiful flower. And the flower is orange. Orange is sacral chakra. So I also feel like you are activating a different level of feeling or connected feeling or feeling to connection to your feeling. You're stepping into a different place with it. So you're not going to be as attached. I want to say non-attachment versus full attachment. It's non-attachment. If I own nothing, that means that I am able to enjoy everything. And I'm grateful for what it is, however long it is in my life and in my world. And when it goes, I send it off with love and respect for its journey, knowing that I'm forever changed by this interaction. And I'm now opening my life to something new. I'm getting a lot of stuff for you on this card that has nothing to do with this card, but that's what I'm getting. So it's really activating your ability to see things for exactly what they are and loving it without having to change it, accepting it without having to change it. The trickster's only power is your trust. So if you're trusting blindly, then the trickster's trick works. But if you are recognizing it for what it is and saying, I don't have to go down that road, but thank you for showing me what you're showing me, it makes things a lot easier. So I love that for you. All right, what card can support my intimacy with self? Intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life is a pawn to someone else's game of chess. So what this is for you, what can support your intimacy with self, is setting an intention to put yourself first. Setting an intention to allow, I'm seeing at least 2 days this week, to really put aside time to focus on what brings me joy in this moment with me. It's relationship with self. What do I really enjoy doing when I am by myself? Is it reading a book? Is it going for a walk in nature? Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? For some people, it's cleaning or organizing. Some people, it's a day trip to the beach or the ocean. So I feel like you want to get clear on what your intentions are, because intentions are important. Words matter, right? That's been coming up a lot lately in this show. Words matter. And it's words with the self. It's the monkey mind, or I take that back. It's the inner dialogue that is important, right? So setting the intention allows you to, I want to say, take back your power, take back control over the monkey mind, and to step into more of a place of, I want to say, possibility. Yeah. Cool. Wow. Lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. So it's taking back your power, and you do that through intention. And it can be as simple as, all right, dream team, here's my intention today, and I trust that you're going to bring me what I need to make that so. And you say it with conviction, and then you let it go. and watch what comes up in your day as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I love that.
Me too. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'll just show you those
Super
ones all
excited.
the time.
Yeah. they're
Really
beautiful.
cool imagery too.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had fun.
Yes,
I did. I
Beth-
wish I was here earlier.
Beth had fun. Beth, when I did this, all she told me to do was eat my vegetables. So,
Do you eat them now?
I go to Cabo once a day because of her. All right. Thank you, Beth.
Thank
See you later, Beth.
Bye, love.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, we've got our final card pull. Audrey, who is a new viewer, she's watched your videos before, and she says, Stacy, can you pull a card for me, please? But I always like to tell you this because you're a person that's that goes on senses. So when she did it herself, she pulled the Oracle cards from Moonology deck.
Oh, I love that deck.
Breathe out, disseminating moon. And number 2, don't let your past hold you back. But she was also saying that she wants to see what is pulled from the tarot deck. But I know you
sure.
got senses, so do you want to go with that, or do you want to pull a card for her?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely. I'm going to do both. I'm going to respond to what she said here. So keep that up, so that I can take a look at it, and then I'll also pull a card that will be sort of like I'm going to say it's an overview of what she's chosen. So the first question, of course, what is it that I am activating? So you pulled the take time to breathe out. It's activating release. When you are breathing out, you are releasing toxins from the body. You are releasing something that is creating stress. You are releasing something that may have created some tension in the body. So you are activating healthy release in the body, or healthy release of what the body no longer needs. And when we do a release, what does that do? That creates more room, more space in the body. So then it's about, I'm going to just piggyback off of Beth's reading. What intention are you going to set for that new fresh space? Maybe that new fresh space needs to stay new and fresh space for a while and doesn't need to have something else put into it, just to feel what that feels like to be expansive in the body. So that's a beautiful card for you to pull. And then what card can support your intimacy with self? Don't let your past hold you back. I mean, these are perfect cards, perfect messages for what you're doing. And South Node is interesting because in astrology, the South Node is the past. It's what you need to release from your, your karmic patterns, your past life experiences. And the North Node is, what am I here to learn? Where am I striving to move forward? Where am I expanding? So when you're connecting with intimacy to self, I feel like the message or the analogy that I gave earlier kind of about myself is that sometimes I hang on, like I say something stupid and I ruminate about it and I feel horrible about it. And oh my God, I'm a horrible person that I said this or I did this. And how do I take it back? You can't. Don't take it back. Move forward. Don't allow the past to inhibit the growth and the joy of your now. So that's a really clear message for you. And then I pulled a tarot card for you. Oh, I love it. You got the Judgment card, and I call this the Phoenix Rising card. So all of this really ties in. The overall sort of view for you this week is connecting to that intimate space, activating yourself and connecting to that intimate space is giving you the opportunity to rise from the ashes, a new baby bird, wings wet, ready to take on the world. And you are in a bit of a phoenix right now. I feel that you are, we're all in various states of transformation, but you in particular, there's something that you really are trying to recreate. You're trying to reinvent an aspect of yourself. And this is a great message to say that that's exactly what's happening, is you are the phoenix rising out of the ashes. So don't let the past hold you back, and release what is poisonous to your body. Release what is no longer serving you. Release what is poisonous to the mind. Remember, the mind is a tool. It is not the be all and end all. It is a tool to enact the heart and soul's wishes. So the mind can sometimes take over. It takes the lead and it thinks it's the boss, but it's not. I always say it's not the captain, it's the first officer. So really step into that space and know that you are coming into a new chapter of your life and you are being reborn, and it's beautiful. It's very exciting. And I'm seeing the blue butterflies on this card as well. It's going to be something that you're going to really be able to speak about. I feel a lot of that energy. So thank you so much for submitting your card pulls, and I was so happy to pull an extra card for you. That was exciting. Awesome.
She disappeared, but she popped back up. She had to log on to Facebook, so she said, wow, that really resonates with what's going on. So
good
stuff. Again, spot on, right?
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Those were our lovely card reads today.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to just take a minute to share about my Phoenix Rising event that is coming up at the end of this month. And this is a monthly Oracle roadmap to achieving your desired outcomes. And we will be tuning into the energies of July so that we can really prepare in advance for what is coming up in July. If you're interested in checking this out, click on the, it's in the description in Facebook as well as YouTube. You will get a link to click on that directly, and would love to have you there. It's a live event. If you're not able to make it live, no worries. We record it and we send it out to everyone who wants to participate in it. So would love to see you there. I love doing them. We do a nice release ceremony. Speaking of release, I think that was Audrea that we were just doing that reading for. So it's a great way to release the previous month's energies and to start fresh and new into the new month. So would love to see you guys there. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm sorry that we lost our New Zealand person. I was really excited to do a reading for someone in New Zealand. So hopefully they will join us again another Monday. And thank you, Keone, for always showing up and being the best wingman ever.
Aw, love ya.
Love you too. Take care, guys. Have a great week.